Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of what the hell are you trying to flex there?
I don't know. I have no idea what I just did. I apologize to
WrestleZone
everyone.
Unfiltered
He's
episode
doing his Paul
33,
Rogers thing.
and we're starting off with a bang already. Joined as always with me, Canada's greatest export, and he didn't do any Hindu squats last week. He disappointed me, so hopefully we're back into it. Paul, how you doing tonight, man?
Well, the squat rack arrived in pieces, and I'm not strong enough to put the pieces together. So I have to wait until I have a couple big boys to help me because I didn't think it was going to be so heavy.
You know, I've got such high hopes for you, and it's every week by week, that I just think I'd take Hornswoggle and shoot.
He's got some experience, to be honest.
And we are joined tonight, Paul. This is your guest. You are gracing us with his presence and bringing him on
the freeway.
Yeah.
No, this is
on the freeway.
It's not getting in a three-way,
I
man.
was
Come on.
hitchhiking, you know. You found me.
I wanted to say freeway, but you guys heard three-way, so I don't know where your head's at. But
yeah, I don't know.
If it was a three-way, you wouldn't have to wonder where my head was.
Like this is the this person is the reason that my head was ringing for about a week. This was the reason that I had a big bruise on my arm. This guy was the reason that I had a handprint of a human being on my chest for a week.
Such a bastard, am I?
The human disaster. This is Curtis Awesome.
The human disaster. I like that. I'm gonna use that.
I would say you're the owner of Frantic Pro Wrestling. What title would you use for your role?
That's safe to say. Like, it's not just me, but yeah, I'm the main priority owner of Frantic Pro Wrestling. As Paul says, I'm the reason why he has all the bruises and scars. Which,
the handprints are gone.
Sorry, not sorry. You got in my business. You guys will be able to check that out next week on Frantic Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Frantic Pro Wrestling. We were involved with their show, FPW Trick or Blood, up in Bolton, Ontario, which thank you so much for everyone who came and joined that. But how's it going? I'm Curtis Awesome. As Paul says, I'm the human disaster, I guess. Now we're just gonna go with it.
Secondary gimmicks. There we go.
Yeah, so owner of Frantic Pro Wrestling, leader of the Mob, the Matters of Business, which is Ontario's newest faction. Hopefully it'll be going around real soon for 2026. And just generally good guy when I want to be, bad guy when you don't want to be. When it pays to be, exactly. It's all business. So
it's as the old saying goes, when you're good, but when you're bad, you're better.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's fun to be bad, honestly. I could talk a little bit about that, but I used to be good and tried to be good for the longest time.
Well, and then as you know, immortal words of Scott Hall, bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
I love Scott Hall. Scott Hall was like one of my idols growing up, so I love Scott Hall. Before he went over to WWE as Razor, I used to love the Diamond Stud gimmick, man. I got a kick out of it. Same. I got a great kick out of it as well.
What happened to all his body hair when he went to the Fed? Because I swear, when you look at the Diamond Stud, he looks like a bear. Like you would call that's a human bear.
I want to know who took the razor to him.
That was FTR before they made it to TV.
Do you think it was one of those eureka moments where he's like, okay, you got to get rid of all the hair and come up with a name? And he's like, oh man,
that's one of those. That's one of those spots back when FTR got called to the main roster. Imagine they were making such a joke out of him.
Imagine if he donated all that hair. Could he have made like an entire wig out of it?
It's possible because he was a hairy bastard back then.
He was such a hairy bastard.
I feel like the train tracks haven't been laid, but yet we're somehow off track. There.
Oh yeah, absolutely, all the time. All right, like you don't know me.
We have a new person, and we mentioned Frantic Pro Wrestling. So could you give us the how do I phrase this where it's like, what was the beginning of FPW? What was the spark that kind of made you go, hey, this is possible for me to do this?
So like Frantic Pro Wrestling for me was a dream of mine since I was like a young teen. Like I've always wanted to be in the wrestling business, but and I always thought I could book well, and I've always done fantasy league stuff growing up, and shooting the shit with the wrestling games and playing the GM modes and stuff, and I always enjoyed that. And then I got the opportunity to join the business when the pandemic happened. And I kind of took a stab at where I had absolutely like no business being in, but I ended up going to a seminar for Barry Wrestling with Evil Uno, which I should have never been in the same ring with these guys. Like, this is my first time being in a ring, but like I got some balls. I'm gonna try it and just see how it goes. And of course, like I did bad.
I did actually ask a few people this about the etiquette of that. If you are a non-wrestler, can you go to wrestling seminars? For what I've been told is yes, but just warn them.
Yeah, so like,
whatever.
I was very transparent, so like I wasn't allowed to do a lot of stuff. So like I could do some bumping and some locking up, but I wasn't really. A lot of it I got to set aside, but like I took so much in through that session because just Evo Uno is just so like he is so knowledgeable, and not just tag team wrestling, but just ring psychology, and it was such a very beneficial part of my career for me that I was just. I had a conversation with him after, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm sorry that you weren't able to participate in a lot of it, but like, I want you to continue to do this. I want to see you actually doing this." So I ended up staying for the show after. He was fighting Holden Albright at Barry Wrestling during that time. So I recorded the match, and of course, because I'm a content creator, I've always done content since I was like 12 years old. So I was always had the etiquette of a content creator. Like, hey, if you're gonna go film someone's show, you should ask the promotion or ask the promoter if it's okay if you can upload the footage. You know, you don't know if they're going to be like filming this or something. So like that's just always been me. So I messaged the owner of Barry Wrestling named Sean Gibson, and he ended up really liking the footage, because originally I was just going to kind of like throw it together, just throw it up, and he's just like, "Oh, I want to see what you got." I'm like, "Oh, okay, well this is an opportunity for me." So I put like way more effort in than I was originally going to. So like replay editors, like graphics, all the things. And the next thing you know, I have a job within the wrestling business as a producer. So I was filming for them for like 2 years. It started in the pandemic, and we were just doing closed in shows. And that's when I got to meet like incredible people like Pretty Ricky and, and Holden at the time, and Ben Ortmans, and it's just my relationships and my further into the business started from there. But like really where it started was Hamilton, and I was getting off of drugs at the time, which I talked about this in my podcast. You guys can find that, Where's My Mind, at the time. So without ranting on, I was in a rut. I was trying to get out, and I'm like, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to get off drugs. I'm going to get into the wrestling business. I'm going to like clean my act up. I'm going to do things. So I sold everything I had, $368 in my pocket. And I moved in with my two friends into like this shitty 1-bedroom that barely fit all my stuff. And I'm just like, I'm just going to do this. So I met with someone named Darcy Williamson. He met me up with, and got me in contact with Rip Impact, and then also Josh Alexander at the time. And it just spiraled from there. And the next thing you know, like I said, I did the Evil Uno thing, got into Barry Wrestling. So I kept getting my experience as I kept going. Then eventually Barry Wrestling ended up replacing me. So, and I stuck around for a little bit, and I was just doing the backstage stuff because like I loved everyone at Barry. I loved what I did. But eventually I saw the writing on the wall. I'm like, okay, it's my time. I need to step away. And I didn't know where I was gonna go from there, because I'm like, okay, well, this was kind of a dream job, and now I don't have my dream job anymore. And then I met a guy named Jesse Amato, and he's kind of just like, nah, fuck that. This is not the end of everything for you. I'm going to take you on. And I ended up being a part of the first New Frontier show. And that's where I met incredible people like him, like Tyler Arrow, like Mike Forte. Like I met all these incredible dudes and gals, and I grew relationships with them, and just further getting experience and just like how wrestling shows work, and like the ins and outs and the budgeting. And like Jesse kind of brought me in, made him over time, made me his right hand man. And next thing you know, I'm working like the ins and outs. So like I kind of got experience through him on like what it took to run a show. And then I did a little bit of stuff with Death Proof, and now I do stuff with like Canadian Deathmatch and New Beginnings. And this kind of gave me all that experience where I'm like, okay, I've been wanting to do a wrestling company since I was like a late teen. Maybe I actually have the experience now and the relationships with wrestlers and the things that I know what to do to actually start this. So I'm like, I looked at my husband. I'm like, I need to do this. I need to I just need to do this.
It's like you're staring at a puzzle that's kind of half and put together, and you're slowly realizing, hey, this is like a sailboat. Hey, this looks like a wrestling company. I can make this work.
And I mean, like before that, like I tried to get back into the ring, and I was under Holden Albright for about 6 months at Crossbody. I ended up getting my hernia reaspirated, unfortunately, which took me out for like 2.5 years. So throughout that 2.5 year time, it was always on my mind where just like, I really should just, I don't know, maybe I can actually do this. So it's just, the more I kept doing promotions, just the more that idea just kept going in the back of my mind. I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to call this company? Because like, I don't want to just be like, oh, so-and-so city championship wrestling or some shit like that. Because like everyone just does that. And I don't want to be like stagnant to a city, but like, I want something that like represents me, and Frantic Pro Wrestling just kind of like fit that kind of tee, because my life is so frantic. I do like 6-8 different goddamn things at once, and I don't know how I balance it, but I managed to do it. So it just kind of fit, and I wanted to do something that was different. So like
and I feel like as a name, it works in a sense, because when you say it, you kind of go, oh, okay, I feel like I get it. When you say like NWA, you know what I mean? Like it sounds official, but as an independent, when you have that Frantic, I feel like that using that word, it might be a little bit more down this alley than like Winnipeg Pro Wrestling. How do you peg that, right? How do you go? Is this for kids? Is this not for kids? Is this?
Yeah,
well, if you're asking how to peg something, it probably isn't for kids, bro.
Yeah, zing.
I don't let you go anymore. You guys making fun of me.
No, I wanted to.
I'll see if I can find a video and send it to you later.
I wanted a show that was variety. I wanted a show that like had all these different kind of styles of wrestling, because like there's so many different styles of wrestling that I love and enjoy. And I feel like all these promotions were just like one style or another. Because like comedy is super important to me. I feel like deathmatch and hardcore always has a place. Technical has a place, and I feel like I was able to do a variety show like that, and everything just kind of like all the pieces fell together, and we learned a lot over our first year. We lost a crap ton of money. We made a bunch of mistakes. We jumped through a bunch of different venues, but it was honestly, I can say like it's been the funnest 1.5 years of my life. I've been having so much incredible fun with this, and especially now being a bad guy. And I'm sorry, Paul, you were at that expense.
Well, it's like, to be fair to smaller wrestling companies, a lot of, like you said, we lost a lot of money. Technically, if you look at like AEW, I don't think they've, quote unquote made money yet. I think they're still at that. So it takes time for every company to grow, no matter what level you are at the scale of it all,
I mean, I can say like for our first like 3 or 4 shows, we ended up breaking even, which was like very surprising to me. And I got a lot of props from that from other promoters, because it's just, that's not
for any business to do that. Like a new business. That's crazy.
So for me, it was like evident after the first show. I'm like, okay, we have something here.
There's meat on the bone.
There's meat on the bone. Let's pick this carcass and see how much we can get off of it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you know this, but you talk about getting started with the videos and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same way Cornette and Heyman got started, except just photos, not videos. And I mean, you go on to the careers they've had from Smoky Mountain to ECW, and now Heyman.
I grew up with Smoky Mountain wrestling.
Right. Well, Heyman to me, and I mean, wrestling's it's opinions, like entertainment, like movies and stuff. But Heyman to me is the best damn thing on TV right now.
Heyman's my inspiration. Honestly, I look up to Heyman as a promoter, being like, I want to create stars. So like people who don't have that chance and aren't getting that chance, I like to bring them in and like help them where I can, and just like get people over where they weren't getting over before. And just that was very important to me with Frantic, because I find like as much as I love my friends like Tyler Arrow and Mike Forte and everyone else, you guys, how is anyone supposed to get over when it's always you guys on every single show and you're doing like 3-4 shows a day? So it's like, how is anyone supposed to get over when? So like, it was really important to me on Frantic to like build this like original roster full of these guys that maybe some of these guys in Ontario, they don't know who an Isaac is, or who a Paul Rogers is, or who a Sasha Vino is. And I feel it's a challenge for me as a promoter to get you all over and get all the names established like that, because like I want to breed the next generation of Ontario wrestling here. And it's funny that so much of it is coming from Quebec. It's just this sleeper underground in Quebec City that a bunch of these wrestlers that no one knows about, but like, why? They're so talented. Like, people should know more about Sasha Vino. People should know more about Isaac Takeover.
Maybe it's like that. Wasn't there a big group of that came out of Minnesota? At one time, it was like Mr.
Oh God,
Perfect
there was so many of them. Barry
Yeah,
Darso.
So maybe it's
I
just
feel
the
like
culture thing where
Quebec. I feel like Quebec is the next like province to break out with that.
And they were all working, because I've seen, normally I wouldn't remember something like this, but so many of them have talked about it on interviews. They all worked at this bar bouncing called Grandma B's. Rick Rude, that's where he was found. Like I said, both Road Warriors, Barry Darso, Crusher Khrushchev, Demolition Axe, whatever you want to call him. There was a bunch more that actually came away from Grandma B's in Minnesota.
So maybe Quebec is the new Alberta. Ontario is really hot, like as for a province. Like there's a lot of wrestling.
So much talent, like probably too much talent. And that's kind of the issue. But
yeah. And there is a sort of like a plateau where once you hit a certain level, you do sort of see the similar
Paul,
people.
I don't know if it's just me, or like I know there's certain others that I talk to that are that feel very much the same, but I see it to me as more of like a challenge. So it's just like try to get myself over like while being in a province that's just stacked full of talent. And at the same time, it makes me want to like also look outside of just Ontario. And like that's where I feel like the key is, and a lot of people just don't do. Everyone's just looking in the bubble of just their province, but like there's so much that you could do, and there's so much wrestling all over that like once you got it here and you really got it down, I feel like your next step is to just really like start branching out. Like I would love to go to like Love Wrestling up in Edmonton. Like I've been to a couple shows there and I love those guys. Spencer is amazing up there. He treats his talent amazing up there. So I see it as a challenge just to like get myself out there anywhere and everywhere. And it's just make yourself stand out within the Ontario scene. And I feel like right now, because the pool is so stacked on skill right now, it's about character work. And it's about like getting yourself over as like this compelling character, whether it's your entrance, like that Stephen Flo guy. Like for some reason now, Even Flow is now just like a meme song again because of that guy. Which I don't know if you've seen Stephen Flo, but the guy's amazing. That is like the most over entrance I've ever seen in a long time. But yeah, no, I feel like right now it's about character work. You don't have to be the most skilled wrestler right now. It's about like, can you make the most compelling character and get over that way? And then your skill and everything else can come along with that. So
yeah,
like
one of these days I'm gonna make the trip and bring the pink suit to manage Paul in my pink suit.
I love it. We'll run back Sasha versus Paul again.
No.
If you look back at a couple of the previous thumbnails for this, I made sure I was in the pink suit laughing at Paul. So in the thumbnail for it. So
I mean, in Paul's defense, at least he didn't have to take an X Factor by me.
Oh my goodness!
I was tempted. I was really tempted, but I didn't.
Okay, here's a sort of odd one I might have for you, since you're like a producer, you're an all hats kind of wearer. Is there any jobs in wrestling that aren't being a wrestler that you feel are like what's the word, undervalued? Like, are there certain non-wrestling jobs that you're like, man, I wish we had more refs, managers, production? Is there like a one job where you're like, guys, if you really want to get into wrestling and you can't physically go, this is
you already know my feelings on that one.
Honestly, production, backstage. There's so many people that want to be in the spotlight but don't understand that like the spotlight can't happen without all the crew behind it. Like the amount of producers I would love to actually like bring on, but the fact of the matter is that they're always like so busy because there's only so much work to go around, and it's just like there's not enough people who want to do this. Like I always wanted to be an all-around hat. I wanted to be an editor, a graphics guy, a producer, a wrestler, a manager. Like I wanted to do all the 9 rounds. Maybe one day I'll throw on the zebra stripes, and the next thing you know, I'm a grand slam for everything in wrestling. I don't know. We'll see. But like I just I really wanted to have my hat in like everything because I respect this business so much. I wanted to know how everything works. So I feel like we need more backstage people. We need more people that are like producing. We need more people that are willing to be like a part of like creative and like backstage hands for like advertising and media. Like there's so many things that people don't see that keep the cogs rolling that not enough people want to do. So it's harder and harder for people like myself who are the promoters to find those people who are super passionate, because I just don't want for me, I'm very particular. I have a little bit of a shooting style that I can easily teach someone, but like I want someone to actually like give a shit, a little bit like like actually want to be here, want to actually do something like so like it always blows my mind when I find someone who's super passionate and they just show me something incredible, and it's like we need more people like you.
Well, I've told him before, I was born in 73, if that'll give you the timeline. So when I really started watching it, Roddy Piper's always been my favorite. I got to meet him in person, but Paul Heyman is a prime example of why I say what I say. If it done right, the manager can still get talent over. I don't care what you call them. And, yes, Brock Lesnar can come out today as Brock Lesnar and be Brock Lesnar. Without Paul Heyman in 2002, when he came to the main roster, do we still have Brock Lesnar as what we see Brock Lesnar as? And I would say no, because he can cut a couple of funny one-liners now, but he couldn't talk back then. That was the knock on him. That's why they put Heyman with him. But you go back and look at how many. I mean, the Midnight Express, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Stan could talk. Bobby couldn't. Dennis couldn't. I mean, where would the Midnight Express have been without Cornette? And yes, all 4 of the Horsemen, no matter what the incarnation was, could the Horsemen, not the shit that was in WCW.
I just had them in my mind too. The original iteration.
Yes,
them and Wyndham. All of them. The original 4 and then Wyndham. They could all cut a hell of a promo, but JJ fit in nicely to the shoe on the outside of the ring, the elegance of JJ Dillon. And I've told him before, I never wanted to step foot inside a ring. I wanted to be Bobby Heenan or Jim Cornette or one of those guys. That's always what I wanted to do. And like I said, I think I've told him, people say I'm knocking AEW, and I'm not, but because I thought Stokely Hathaway sucked as Malcolm Bivens in NXT. So it's the guy, it's not the company. I'm just saying, when the manager role is done right, it can still get over, and you just don't see that anymore.
Who was Swerve's manager? I feel bad for
Prince Nana.
I felt like Nana was such a good manager in the sense that he was like a foil, where like a heel would go to do something and Nana would pop up and start dancing. And it's like, okay, that's a good comedic foil for a heel. And he didn't really have to say too much, but he would pop up and the crowd would go absolutely nuts.
I mean, you nailed it on the head though. Like the manager can get over without like taking the spotlight out of the talent that's actually in the ring and performing. And that's why for me, like, I'm very proud of the work that me and Charles did over the last year. And it's just like, I feel like Charles was much more elevated now than he was a year ago, where he wasn't really getting many bookings and he kind of didn't know where he was going. So like, I'm just very proud of the work that me and him were able to accomplish. And it was really much my goal to get Charles over, and like, it got him over in a lot of ways we didn't even expect. Like, I wasn't expecting Charles to be the face of the year for FPW, not alone become a face at the first place. Like, who expected Charles Mayhem to be cheered at every show? Like, I didn't see that coming. And that's kind of the beauty of like doing this, is just like I'm very much like the fans drive the direction of the product. And like if the fans want us to go a direction, we're gonna go that direction.
Yeah, it's sort of like a moment where you hear the crowd go, okay.
Like, and I mean, a prime example of this, and like this is a little backstage insight. Like the first Trick or Blood in 2024, which was our first show, I produced Pretty Ricky versus Bruce Thunderstein, which again is some of my best work. I really loved that match. But they ended up doing one thing that I didn't end up planning throughout it, and it was them versus the referees. And I thought that was so entertaining. It basically sparked like, now people want Pretty Ricky and Bruce as a tag team, and we want to get that happening in the future on that. But that was like, I completely sparked, the crowd made that happen kind of moment, and we just went with it. And I love little moments like that, and that's some of the funnest parts of this to me, is just seeing how the fans react and just going with it. And that was, and
it's like, I guess we're doing this now.
I mean, for a prime example, like my heel turn was it went completely different than how we had planned it, and it was because of the crowd. We didn't expect the crowd to turn on me at the start of the show. So like, it was the moment I slapped Charles in the face, and all of a sudden like the crowd just went like completely hostile. We weren't expecting that, and we had to roll with that. So I'm like, okay, now everything I was going to do later, I'm doing right now, because so I had to call it audible in that moment. And it's just those kind of moments you can't take for granted, I find.
Is there a good example of the opposite of this effect, where you thought this, or someone, it doesn't have to be your idea, but something that you saw once, where it's like someone thought this was going to be a great idea and they went out, the crowd kind of went, oh, like the opposite of, oh, we didn't know this was going to be so good. It turned out, the crowd didn't really buy into it as much as we thought.
I think we have at least one of those every show, to be honest with you. I don't really want to call out names or anything, because I think everyone does a fantastic job. And it's not really anyone's fault for one reason or another, but that's kind of the idea where I wanted to be different as well, where it's just like, hey, if you guys have an idea and I think it's actually a decent idea, let's go with it. I feel like there's so many promotions that are too scared to take the risk and try the idea. Here's the thing. We're not television. We're just on YouTube. We're indie. We are able to try the risks, and if they don't work, well, then just don't do it the next show, you know?
Yeah.
So like, that's always been my philosophy. So I've always told people like, hey, don't be afraid to shoot me ideas. Like, I mean, I love you, Charles, but like I've shot down like 4 or 5 of your ideas sometimes because you're too ambitious. I love you, dude. But that's the whole thing, is like everyone can have an idea and can shoot it for me. And I always express that. And I've even said that to you privately, Paul, multiple times, where I'm like, don't ever be afraid. Like, I love to see risks being taken, because you know what? That's how great moments happen. Like,
I've noticed when being creative, if you're afraid to just even voice the idea, you're not going to get any of it accomplished. Sometimes you could say like, hey, I have this small idea, and someone just goes, hey, I know how to make that bigger. I like that. If you never bring it up, then it's never going to happen. But I think a lot of people don't like the word nope, so they get a little nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And I always like try to be approachable. I'm just like, you guys don't have to be afraid. Just literally message me like, hey, dude, I got an idea. I'm like, what's up? It's
in life, and it's in life, not just wrestling, but you know, Take 1,500 no's, but that one yes could launch you somewhere.
That's what I mean.
That one yes, you get turned down 1,500 times for a movie script that you wrote, or a book you wrote, or whatever.
And even if I say
yes is all it takes.
And even if I say no, it doesn't mean that no can't turn to a yes. We can come to a conclusion. We can keep going creative with it, and that's the beauty about it, is we can create magic even with the no's, like they can turn to yeses. So it's just, it's all about like just showing your creativity. And I really, really appreciate people like yourself, Paul, who just have lots of ideas and aren't afraid to
Too many
express them.
ideas. It's bad. It's a bad hobby.
Well, and a lot of times too, it could turn out to not an exact no, but of, hey, I like this part, but instead of this, what about this?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I mean. Like, and there's so many ideas that we go through that I'm like, yeah, I like this, but what if we changed it to this and go this little bit of a direction? And that's the beauty I find in what I really wanted to be with promoters. And the thing that I saw with other promoters is I wanted to be very collaborative with all the talent. I wanted everyone to be happy with their bookings. And I know not everyone's going to be happy with their bookings all the time, but I mean, if I can mitigate
enough, dude, come on.
But you know, if I can make it to the point where it's just like, okay, you're happy with who you're fighting, or like if we can work it out to the point where it's just like, okay, everyone's just happy with the booking overall and just like how the show's going to go, then like I've had talent who were nervous to fight so-and-so and because of so-and-so that happened like 2 years ago. And then all of a sudden they have the match and all of a sudden they come to the back. And it's like, that was a banger, and like slapping hands and everything. So it's just like, it's all about just like taking a risk, being collaborative and being professional. And as long as everyone's just professional, having a good time and like getting their ideas in, and no one feels like they're undervalued or underappreciated, then the shows flow naturally. And that's why everyone has fun at FPWs, because we're very collaborative together and everyone's just happy with their bookings. And that's just where I want to be.
It's like, I think a magic word you can use is sort of trust, because when you can look at everybody who's doing different roles and they're sort of all on the same page of like what's going, you know what I mean? They're all kind of listening to each other. Everybody's making sure that we're all safe and we're all okay, we're doing the right thing. And it's like, okay.
And it's so messed up to me because like, isn't this whole business about trust? Like, we trust each other in the ring there. We trust each other with our bodies. Like, why can't we trust each other with our bookings and being collaborative with each other? Like, I feel like there's too much fighting.
Here's something. I don't know if it's like I'm just noticing it because I'm newer into this kind of scene, but a lot of people are using the expression "thanks for trusting me."
Yeah,
like I'll notice it. I've noticed it like 3 or 4 times where I'm like, is this a thing? Is this a thing that no one told me to say? You know, but I think it's just something people like saying, so it's starting to grow kind of in the culture.
Yeah.
Well, from the outside looking in, and you know, I could be completely off on this one, but I think a lost art in today's wrestling, whether it be indie or the mainstream, is that they've lost the art to realize that sometimes you get over more with a loss than you do with a win.
Exactly. And I always like to preach that, like, and sometimes when someone's down, and again, I won't name names because it's all personal to me.
It's me. He's blaming me.
Yeah, sure. But I know, but we'll just go like example, like, yeah, like Paul, I know you come to me a couple times down in the dumps, and like I like to try to uplift everyone where it's just like, okay, like, I know it sucks taking a loss after loss. Believe me, FPW's first year was goddamn awful for me booking wise. All right, I got my ass kicked by basically the entire roster. But there's always a reason, and I always say that with them, where it's just like, I don't like losses and wins for no reason. I don't like matches just happening for no goddamn reason whatsoever. So like, if you're on like a bit of a losing streak, there's a reason for it, and if you stick out with it, you will be rewarded with it. Like Charles, for example, like he's lost a lot over the last little bit, and now he's found this monster version of himself. He's going to see a huge turnaround with that, and it was all in the storylining, all within the booking of just like, just go through it. Just push through it, do the best you can within defeat. Don't look weak, and don't listen to people that tell you that you look like. The fans are stupid sometimes. Well, like literally, they don't, most times they don't understand the long-term booking. And I've always been a long-term booking kind of guy. So it's just like, you're losing for a reason. Like something is about to happen with you. And if you stick it out, the storyline purpose of why you like, it will all make sense. And that's an art form I find has been lost a lot in indie wrestling, where it's just like, oh, here's Joe Blow and this guy, they're wrestling because Reason.
Well, Paul, I got a question for you. This is not a knock. I'm
Okay.
going somewhere
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah.
Have you won a match yet?
No.
Yeah, you. I've got the perfect gimmick for you.
Oh,
You know,
no.
only certain people will remember. Give him the Mikey Whipwreck storyline. Let him get his ass beat week after week after week for about 2 years, and then when he finally scores that big victory, because do you remember who Mikey Whipwreck beat for the first time in his ECW days?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Paul. Give it to me.
I thought it was a tag team, his first victory, but I want to say it was Stone Cold.
That's it. That was the first big win that Mikey got.
At.
And they, that was actually Austin's idea. Heyman's talked about it. They're like, he's like, what are you going to do? He's like, we'll put the kid over, goddammit. He's like, you're going to what? He's like, nobody's going to expect him to beat me. He goes, yeah, we'll go put him over. And then you saw, Mikey Whipwreck had a huge following on when the internet started blowing up because of that. He was just so, everybody just, they wanted to pull him in and hug him and tell him it was going to be okay. And just week after week, that poor guy, man, he sold his ass off. And then, he's not on the Mount Rushmore wrestling, but he's definitely remembered.
Hey, he beat Pitbull for the ECW championship. So let's go. Make a legend. But no, it's everything happens for a reason. And honestly, Paul, I could see that working with you. We'll see what happens. But
well, even I'm a big fan of the Young Lion system where it's implied you're not winning. There's going to be 4 years of you being in opening matches where you're going to take the pin, but yet though these guys can get over just with, you know what I mean? Like simplicity, intensity, hip toss, drop kick, and all of a sudden the fans are bringing their towels for.
I'll give you a prime example that most people that watch wrestling will know. Everybody will tell you how hot Steve Austin was as Stone Cold, and how good he was for the product. He brought eyes. I mean, even Ric Flair said time and time again that Austin saved the WWF from going under. But what match do people remember? The one he lost to Bret Hart, the double turn. That's the one they remember. Specific matches. They can't sit there and tell you a specific time that Steve Austin won a match because he won a ton and winning the titles. And, people might bring up WrestleMania when he beat Shawn Michaels just because of the bullshit behind the match. But
he feuded with Savio Vega. That's all I got.
But that's what I'm saying. The match that put Steve Austin on the map in the WWF was the double turn and losing to Bret Hart.
I mean, that's how it goes sometimes. I feel like for me, what kind of been kickstarting stuff for me this year was turning heel on Charles. So I mean,
it's sort of a weird metaphor I find I don't know if it's just a me thing or if other creators kind of feel this way, but it's I've heard some people say they're going into the match to get themselves over. And in a way, I feel like people it should be viewed the opposite.
Yeah.
Naturally, where it's well, if I make Sasha look like $1 million, when I beat Sasha, I'll be $1 million. So instead of, I'm going to do a move so I look good. No, if this guy wants me to go up for a Saito suplex, guess what? I'm posting on everything I got, bud. You can throw me halfway across that ring because I want you to look good.
That was, that's another thing that's been lost. Well, I mean, it's not so bad now, but it got bad for a while of, people coming out and talking about how bad their opponents sucked instead of putting them over as they're coming after them. Because if you talk about how bad they suck and then you go lose, well, you just lost to somebody that sucks.
I hate, I want to be for me personally, I want to be a ring general one day where it's just I want to take even someone who is said that they suck and I want to get a good match out of them. That's my goal with everyone. I want to get a good match out of everyone. I want to get anyone over. And that was including my logic for attacking Charles. And what I did back in July was just because I wanted to get Charles over as a face, and in turn it ended up being because I went in with a direction. I'm okay, get Charles over, make sure they're screaming for him. They ended up hating me more, and it ended up making me more over in the long term because of just being not being selfish, going out there and just being okay, I get him over, that gets me over. We both win in this situation. We both get books elsewhere. That's how it is. And it is a lost art form. There's too many people that are just in it for themselves. And I hate it. It's just We should all look good. Like, and that's my logic with booking everything is just everyone should look good in the end. No one should look bad in defeat. No one should look bad in victory, or like everyone should get over in some stances. Like if someone's going to get their ass kicked, they should be cheered out the building by the time they're leaving and waking to from getting their ass kicked. And the people who got there, who did the ass kicking, should be booed to hell out of the building while doing it.
And it's like, I just had this thought. It's sort of a storytelling thing in the sense, because if I'm cutting a promo, if I'm going to fight Curtis, let's say for next week, if I cut a promo and don't mention you at all, it's sort of like watching Star Wars where Luke Skywalker never mentions Vader. You know what I mean? The interaction doesn't work the same unless there's a sort of, oh, Vader, he's the worst. Oh, Vader, he's the strongest. If it's just, oh, we're here now.
Well, that's why it was like, even like, which people haven't seen yet for Trick or Blood because it isn't out yet, but like that was even my direction on like doing my promo and everything, was just like, okay, now I'm coming out here just to get my words in, so then I can tell the people of Bolton here why Charles is the bad guy and not me. Like if I just go out and send them out, that there's no one knows what the hell is happening, why I'm such the human disaster that I am. And it's just you have to give the people the reason regardless. So it's just like and originally we were planning it on, like, I think you and Sasha were supposed to be like the first match in the show, and I was supposed to come out here and like I was literally gonna give context, being like, oh well, Paul's getting in my business, so I have to not Paul. Make this personal. Yeah, I know, Paul always get into my damn business. You're gonna get hurt soon enough.
I get hurt every day. It's just another.
Here's some context for the younger folks that want to go back and watch stuff. It's very well, annaled in history that it was Ric Flair's job, not only as champion, but as being Ric Flair, to get him over in the ring. And everybody knows about his legendary promos. But if you go back and listen to the context of his like 80s promos with the guys that he's wrestling, he's going to go through, I know how hard you hit. I know how strong you are. I know how bad you are. You beat this person. You beat that person. You beat that person. But now you're getting in the ring with the Rolex wearing, putting himself over. But he puts the guy over for, 30 to 45 seconds of how bad of, a guy that he is. But he's stepping in the ring with the champ now. We'll see how bad he really is. He puts him over, though.
There's a little
very much.
I noticed with Ric Flair, he'll do a comparison, and he'll make I'm going to make me sound like my character, but I'm going to make you sound relatable. You wear work boots every day. I wear $100,000 sneakers. You wear a hard hat. I wear a Gucci. Wait a minute. The guy that wears work boots and hard hats sounds like me. I'm you know what I mean? It's like I'm trying to put you down, but I'm actually just establishing your character more.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah, no, and that's where it works.
Small things.
It's like when he was getting Sting, when he was getting Sting over, he's like, you got the body the girls want. You come out here and pound your chest and wear your face paint. I mean, basically, like you said, getting his character over. And I mean, that's what he did throughout the 80s, man. He was the best at it.
Hey man, that's what I was going on and ranting on in the ring the other weekend about Trick or Blood about Charles, and just being like, you guys cheer for someone who betrayed me and left me for the dust, and goes around and betraying his brothers like Sawyer, and those are the people who you cheer. I want nothing to do with any of you.
Well, I mean, I know we joke about her, but somebody that's the exact opposite is old Baldy.
Yeah.
Fucking Mercedes Monet. God, I can't stand that bitch. But
Thank you.
If you watch her interviews, best every time if she goes out on TV, what does she do? She talks down to every woman on the division, saying you're not on my level, you can't do this, you can't do that, and then they send her out there and let her win.
Yeah,
it's like you've just shit on your entire female roster.
She's missing remember when Flair would do a similar thing, but Flair would do the spot where he'd get down on his knees and be like, okay, I'm at a disadvantage and I'm going to cower, and that'll show why I'm cheating. Blah. She doesn't do any of that to sort of round out the character.
No, she if she doesn't win with her finish, she'll win with a roll up, but it's always never anything out of the way.
Ric Flair is the reason why I am so adamant about kayfabe, and I don't mind it now because storylines are over. I can kind of give the insight on it anyway now at this point. But for like the first year, there was two feuds that I was in that people actually thought were legitimate and actually thought like we actually hate. So the first one was Josh Vander Cruz. Like there was actually legitimate like concern with across like the entire Ontario industry. Like I had like friends, like personal friends, co-workers, people I share rings with.
There's
like,
Facebook posts going around.
Like, is this real? Like, do you and Josh really hate him? But like, oh yeah, I fucking absolutely hate
the
this
group
bastard.
chats are blowing up.
Oh,
yo, did you see this guy?
Oh yeah, wait, you've seen it yourself. So like for the longest time until I turned heel, like we played that up for a year, and it was the same with Charles. Like me and Charles wanted this to look like this was like a 14-year friendship just utterly destroyed by a unhealthy work relationship.
There's a word I like to use that it's like you want when wrestling, when making storylines, when doing all this, I feel like the one word you want the fans to think is maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, this is all make believe. But maybe this one isn't. Maybe you know what I mean? It's
absolutely,
and like
that's why I hate what the internet's done to this.
That's why me and Charles, like, we went after each other personally. Like, he went after my hernia surgery, I went after his daughter. Like, there's like so many like personal shots at each other, and we both discussed it backstage and be like, yeah, go ahead. This makes it actually like legit. So like there were real people like genuine concern, and
well, just because I'll hear it over and over again. I saw your facial expression when I mentioned Piper earlier, so I won't be long with it. But you know, I didn't know what kayfabe. I'd never heard the word before. But I was also 8 years old, and my dad played music. Blah blah blah. Long story short, with the deputies that worked the dance where he played every Saturday, also worked the wrestling matches at the high school gyms. And being as we knew them, they would take me back to meet everybody. So when I say I met Piper, it wasn't in a passing kind of capacity. It was, you know, they took me back there, scared the shit out of me. And I went running back to my mom. And because I saw him and Mr. Fuji and Gene Anderson, a couple other people, and Doc, who was a big guy himself, walked over in that uniform, looked down, boy, I ain't got time for this shit. You gonna do this or not? Yes, sir. So we go back there, and like I said, Piper was the biggest asshole on TV, and this is prior to his WWF days. This is his Mid-Atlantic days, having blood feuds with Wahoo McDaniel.
Oh yeah,
and you know, I kind of go walking over there like scared to death, and he just grabs me and throws me on his lap. How you doing, Squirt? I mean, he was, you know, threw me down, went over and grabbed the U.S. title, come back, pulled me down, put the title, you know, 1, 2, 3, doing. I mean, he spent about 30 minutes with me. He was the nicest man I ever met in my life.
Honestly. The heels are the biggest.
He went out, you know, he was the main event against Wahoo, and everybody's, of course, booing him. And there I am chanting Roddy, Roddy, Roddy. Yeah. And some girl turned around, looked at my mom, and goes, you need to tell your son who to cheer for. She's like, shut up. He can cheer for who he wants. But after that, it was all the bad guys for me, man. I was like, you know what? The hell with it. Because the good guys were nice. Like I met Steamboat that night. You know, he was polite. He signed my book, but it wasn't the 30 minutes I got with Roddy Piper.
The heels
he seems like he would be a bit more.
I feel like the heels are more personal, and like
I mean, even Gene Anderson was great because when I was sitting on Piper's lap, I said, you know, my mom told me if I met you to tell you she thought you were cute. Gene Anderson pulls off his glasses. He goes, give these to your damn mama. And Piper's like, she don't need those. He just got a smart mama. And I'm like, But yeah, I mean, that's like, that was, you know, I'm 52, man. That's been 40 years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday.
You know, I may be a bastard out there, but like I love entertaining like the kids and fans and like giving people moments and stuff. Like that's always important to me too. So it's like I've always found, and especially working like 7 years in this business, that the heels are the biggest sweethearts. Always backstage or just like it's so weird to me. Like I've met so many like cocky like good guys that like are just like so pieces of shit backstage and like throwing their weight around and politicking around, and then it's just like it's always the bad guys that are just the biggest sweethearts.
I think I first heard that on the show Heels, and then I remember asking like my trainer and other trainees like, hey, is this true? And
I need season 3 of that show, man. I need season 3.
I know.
it's like, from what I've gathered,
Or a
the kind
movie.
of philosophy is everybody wants to look good. Of course, that's, we all want to look good. But the people who are willing to look like idiots are more, I don't want to use the word selfless because that seems rather indulgent.
We have
I
more
guess, but it's
humility,
like,
I think. We have more humility.
okay, so the example that I always go back to, even though it's not the best example, because it's Vince McMahon pissed his pants on live TV.
Got his head shaved at WrestleMania.
If you're like, okay, he's not the best example of he's a good person, let's say, but those are things that you might have to do as a heel to put over your baby face.
And I'm 110% willing to do that,
You
because
might have to. Not everyone is, though. That's, I think, the distinction.
If the moment is right and I have to like piss or shit my pants to make someone over, then I have to shit or piss my pants to make someone over.
There it is.
That's the key, is just like everyone should look good at the moment is right. The moment is right. And I just, I find heels have more sense of humility, and because we're so used to just looking like shit all the time, it doesn't matter. So it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna get my ass kicked. That's a core to the course. Well, like, what can we do to make this entertaining then? So it's like, it's not so much of like, oh, am I getting the win? Am I getting the championship this time? Like, no, it's like, okay, what are we doing this week? Like, it's not about the heel is not about the wins or losses. It's like, what are we doing this week? What is the story?
What is the story of the match? That's
well, I mean, you look at Tommy Dreamer. I mean, that was the big thing. He was the big baby face of ECW and never won the title until they had no option but to put it on him. And he didn't want it then, but everybody by that time had, Taz had left, Raven had left, Mike Awesome had left, Tanaka was back overseas. They had nobody else to, and Heyman said, just take the damn title. But up until then, that was his, that was his thing. That was his niche, that, no matter how much he did or how many matches he won, he couldn't win the big one per se, And you're talking about kayfabe with, me and Paul's talked about it before. You see people bitching online about how MJF is MJF at a Comic-Con, or if you meet him out in public. And I find it heartwarming that he takes that character and wherever he goes, that he is MJF if you meet him in public.
If you went to a Comic-Con to meet Jason Voorhees, let's say, I've just picked an example at the top of my head. If you went to the Comic-Con and there's a fella dressed in Jason outfit to the nines and then went, hey, buddy, how's it going? Here's an autograph. Your heart would be shattered. You'd go, no, just don't say nothing. Be freaky. You know what I mean? Like, I want to meet MJF. I don't want to meet the person behind the character MJF. That's the magic of wrestling. You don't get, because you would never go see Jason Voorhees.
It's called staying in character, and that's what I love doing too. And I'm all about it. Like, I've done that for my entire life, even before wrestling, and even around now. Like, I've talked to you about before, Paul. So it's just like, you got to give people moments. Anywhere you go, is giving someone a moment is so much more fulfilling than just being like, oh, hey, how's it going? I'm Joe Blow Bulbasaur, and I'm like, how's it going? This is me outside. No, I want you to call me an asshole, and I want you to be like, flip me off, flip the bird. Or something. I want to see what I see on television every week. Like, come on.
Absolutely.
Like, when.
All right, before we go into today in pro wrestling history, we'll just do it now real quick. Let's see. 20 years ago, Christian debuted in TNA and officially became.
How long ago was that?
20 years.
I remember when he did.
I watched that live. I watched that live. Spike TV.
That was a great period for TNA, though. That was a good.
Speaking of which, if there was any doubt that Chris Jericho was not going to WWE, he erased that the other day on a podcast he did when he said that they were asking about, this, that, and the other. And he said that TNA's production lately had put them at a definite number 2 behind WWE now. I'm like,
what happens when you get a WWE size budget? You produce WWE size shows.
Oh, I honestly, I felt like that was such a apples and oranges argument, though, because he's like, TNA's WrestleMania did better than AEW's novelty show at a bingo hall.
Yeah, maybe in context of like numbers and production value, sure, but like we'll question about the actual action in, but you know,
Speaking of AEW,
apples
if
and
you
oranges
watch
for
Blood
me,
and Guts
but
last night, I really thought the women outdid the men, but that was my personal opinion.
110%. But Kyle O'Reilly tapping out Mox.
Yeah, I guess we're probably it's beyond time to see them. I guess because they were all kind of staring at him after he taps. That's coming. 32 years ago, God, I remember this guy well. Rufus R. Freight Train Jones died at the age of 60. And today is the birthday of Ice Train, the Fire and Ice partner of Scott Norton in WCW.
Isn't there a fella named Ice Train in the States who's like a special needs wrestler? I might be confusing you with someone. Freight Train. Sorry, that's the fella's
Freight Train.
32 years ago, ECW held their inaugural November to Remember live from Philadelphia. And 19 years ago tonight, rated RKO, Randy Orton and Edge defeated Piper and Flair to win the WWE Tag Team titles.
What was that match you just said? Sorry, repeat that again.
Oh, why did you remind me of this?
Orton and Edge defeated Ric Flair and Roddy Piper to win the WWE Tag Team titles.
Oh, I remember watching this too, and it was so bad.
Here's your one, Paul, because you like this so much. 30 years ago, Kensuke Sasaki defeated Sting to win the U.S. title at WCW World in Tokyo.
Hell yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Oh, God. This actually seems longer than this to me, but 7 years ago, Brian Danielson, defeated AJ Styles to win the WWE Championship in St. Louis and started wearing that, whatever the hell you want to call that belt.
Oh,
the vegan belt.
Talk about character work and like that kind of stuff. That vegan belt that was made out of wood.
Betsy's dead.
I'm not a big fan of the WWE
trash.
belt. The wood one looked great.
Betsy is trash. She belongs in the trash. I love that whole.
I love when he did his vegan like this. This is a burger. This is from an animal slaughtering farm. Oh, yeah.
He did well with that.
No, I loved he called the WWE Championship Betsy and threw it in the trash. Betsy is trash and just like throws.
Yeah, he was so well beloved and then started doing that character. Man, he did very well with that.
He was so.
And what's funny is that's the guy that people said not enough charisma. Not good enough on the mic, and then he turns around and just starts pumping.
Gives everybody the big FU. Yeah.
Oh, but I think that for that case, he had more passion than talent. I don't want that to sound bad, but because of his passion, it just kept ramming through, and eventually that talent kicked in, and it's like, oh my God, unstoppable! That guy. Not the best commentator though.
4 years ago, no, he's filling in for Taz. Taz had another surgery, so
fair.
4 years ago tonight, AEW presented Full Gear from Minneapolis, Minnesota, where in the main event, Hangnail Adam Page defeated Kenny Omega to win the championship for the first time. And in the widely opinionated Show Stealer was the opening match of MJF defeating Darby Allin in the opening match, which everybody, the majority of people online said was the best match of the night.
So that's a really special night for me because that was the day where unfortunately out of bad circumstances, like I lost my grandparents a year ago before that, but they left me an inheritance and I ended up getting my inheritance literally like that day and I didn't want to spend it alone. So like, have you Paul, you ever been to Wild Wing and ever seen the Texas Wild Wing fucking deal? So
maybe.
So I ended up getting this money maybe like a week before Full Gear, and I ended up going to see my buddies. I ended up ordering that Texas deal, which is like 100. I think it was like 100 pounds of wings, I believe, like 50 to 100 pounds of wings. It's fucking stupid.
I can do two comfortably.
It was like it's a $200 thing.
Oh my God.
And I showed up with the brand new AEW like bomber jackets too, and I gifted one to each of my buddies. They're like $130 each. And I remember just fucking watching that pay-per-view and just freaking the fuck out when Hangman finally won the big one.
On a somber note, 20 years ago today, we lost Eddie Guerrero.
Okay. I'll let you go.
We both had a.
So I believe I was like 12 or 13 years old. This happened. This is still an episode of Monday Night Raw I cannot watch to this day without like bawling my goddamn eyes out. Eddie was like my idol and still is to my day, like my favorite wrestler of all time. I just thought he was so goddamn good. He was so technical. He was such a great character, entertaining as fuck. I loved his book. Like I strongly recommended like I think it was Stealing Death, Cheating Life, the Eddie Guerrero story. Fucking unbelievable book, but sad as fuck. Like you could tell you knew he was dying around that time when he wrote it, which makes it a little bit more sadder. But Eddie was my favorite and still is my favorite to this day. He is always like my top. Like he's up there with Roddy. He's up there with Flair. He's up there with a lot of guys that Macho Man. Like he's one of my very like influential wrestlers I grew up watching, and I was so hard crushed watching that episode as a 12-year-old and just being like, Eddie's passed away, and being like, nope.
That's it. I remember a couple people being really upset about that and kind of moving away from wrestling for a little bit because he was so beloved.
Yeah.
But what I will say about Eddie Guerrero, I'll make this quick because it's a smaller anecdote. It's not really a long story. I trained in battle arts for a year or so, just over, maybe had from people coming and going, maybe 5 or 6 different coaches. Like you meet people, they drop in. Everybody's got their different styles. Nobody agrees with anybody. They all have different opinions about what wrestling is. But no matter what coach I'm in the ring with studying, whenever they say, hey, you know who did this really good? Everyone says Eddie Guerrero. People who don't like American wrestling say Eddie Guerrero was good at this. Pick anything. Arm drags, hip tosses. They'll go, you want to see a good arm drag? Eddie Guerrero. I can train with someone who really loves shoot style, catch as catch can, puro, it's real to me, damn it, wrestling. And they'll go, man, I got to show you this Eddie Guerrero clip. This is hilarious. Everybody loves Eddie, no matter what, no matter who.
You know, speaking of Eddie, I've been so up and down on Dom since his heel turn. And, you know, every time you hear
father like son, you know,
well, every time you hear, you know, that one of the guys talk about it, you know, talk about Dom, they all talk about how respectful he is, what a sponge he is, how good he is, how good he's going to be. And I've been up and down watching it, but I'll tell you what, everything that I've heard people talk about, I saw Monday night.
Yep. I've always knew he had some, like I knew there was something with him, and he's needed that moment, like that moment that's just going to push him like that. And that moment with Cena right there. And
I will tell you, as a booker, which I am not, but if I was a booker booking Cena's this whole tournament, I would have Dom go demand to be in the tournament because he got his title taken from him, and then have Dom be the one to take that title back from him on his last match. That would, you know, to really do something for Dom, because everything that I've heard people, the good things I've heard people in the business talk about him, I saw all of those and more Monday night.
And from what I heard, they wanted to be Gunther, and it's, as a non-WWE fan, if you said Cena's last match was Dom, I'd be a bit more. I might watch that. Him and Gunther.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with it, because that would actually give his last match a story. Because right now it's his last match. That's all it's got right now.
Plus, you would be putting over. I'm gonna say this, hoping that Dom's younger than Gunther, but it does seem
Dom's
like
he's like 24, 25. He's not old.
Oh, for some reason I want to say he's old because
he might be
such
26 tops, but he's not old at all.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I always picture Dom as the younger one, but maybe Dom is older than Gunther. I don't know how they're. Dom Guerrero, is that? No, that's not right.
Dom Mysterio. One of the lines from Monday night was Eddie's name was brought up, and Dom said, "Don't you talk about my father."
Dominic is 28.
I was close. I was 26, somewhere around there.
Oh my god, yeah.
Gunther, I think Gunther's pushing 40, isn't he?
He's been around forever, so he might be. He's 38 years old, so that guess was pretty good actually.
All right, and speaking of age, Tanahashi is 49 today. Happy birthday, Tanahashi.
This guy, okay, we're talking about the John Cena retirement. They said, oh, Tanahashi's final match is going to be Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom. From what I understand, they've sold 45 out of the 50,000 tickets for the Tokyo Dome. There's 4 matches announced, that being one of them. It's like, that's really good. So hopefully people stay. Like they watch the match and then they keep watching too. And it's not just like I've heard people say once John Cena retires, they might be retiring from WWE. So like, hopefully it sticks around. But that, talking about retirement tours, that's a hell of a kickoff. 50,000 people, Tokyo Dome.
Absolutely.
Jesus.
6 years ago tonight, Chris Jericho, as the AEW World Champion, suffered his first loss as the tag team champions of SCU defeated Jericho and Sammy Guevara to retain the tag team titles.
Oh my God, what a weird period of AEW.
Sarah Del Rey is 45 today. And here you go. 25 years ago today, R-Truth made his WWE debut.
Really?
And that
So
is
he was in
today
TNA.
wrestling history.
He was in TNA over 25 years ago. That's what you're saying. I don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like, nope.
How do you think I feel when people are pointing out certain things?
I don't like the
45
time
years
is
ago?
linear and we can't go back. And it scares me, guys. I saw a picture of Hacksaw Jim Duggan currently and I went, nope, don't like it. Don't like it. I'm freaking out a little bit. Okay. Make him.
Well, just keep this in mind, Paul. There's only 2 days of your life that you can do nothing about. And that's yesterday and tomorrow.
That's pretty good.
So
That's pretty good. I mean,
so
I can
Curtis,
do,
it
I
was
can
great
do
to
nothing.
have you on there. Tell everybody where they can find you and find some Frantic Pro Wrestling.
Yes, so you can find myself, of course, OG Curtis Awesome everywhere. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Trying to start a YouTube. I don't got much content, but I mean, there's MySpace, maybe
Truth
one day,
Social, whatever we got, Blue Sky, whatever there is.
Sky Kick, whatever, whatever people I could make, Patreon. I don't know. I'm on everything, so you can check me out there.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna hit you up to get some of those things you were talking about to get the podcast out there.
Yeah, no, you definitely shoot me up a message.
I'll message Paul and maybe we can get together and do yours, do mine, do something, talk about some other stuff other than wrestling.
Let's do it.
We've been talking about Charles Mayhem a little bit, so maybe me and Jason can get him next week and we can work something.
So, of course, you can find my podcast on Spotify, Google, and all the podcasters. Where is My Mind? A deep dive into Curtis Awesome, as well as Awesome Talk coming soon, which is my pure wrestling channel podcast, because I had to start separating stuff because everything's Where's My Mind.
I understand, like 40 million hats in the fire, you got to start separating them.
So
I've been doing the same thing.
If you want to see Curtis Awesome stuff and all the gimmick stuff and talking about FPW and maybe talking some shit a little bit, you can do that on Awesome Talk. If you want to get a little bit more personal, you want to see the podcast, interviews, talking to celebrities, wrestlers, actors, whoever, you can find that on Where Is My Mind. That's also on Spotify and all of the podcasts and things. And then you can find Frantic Pro Wrestling, youtube.com @Frantic Pro Wrestling, and all the socials. So Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. I don't know what's with this Blue Sky thing, but everyone's using it. So
I just like using it as an extra name, so you can say 600 names.
If you get me all those @, I will throw them in the description so people have them.
Everything's at Frantic Pro and at Frantic Pro Wrestling. You'll find all the socials, but all the content, of course, is on youtube.com @Frantic Pro Wrestling. Trick or Blood, which features me whipping Paul Rogers' ass.
Wait, I don't remember this.
yeah, you were knocked out. Sorry about that. You can find that youtube.com @Frantic Pro Wrestling next week. It's a pretty fun show, so do check that out. Frantic Pro Wrestling's next show is February 28th, Frantic Rumble, which I'm announcing right here on this podcast. So I guess this is a little bit of an exclusive for you guys. Wishago, Ontario Community Center. So Frantic Pro Wrestling, the Frantic Rumble, 20 people enter, only one survives for a championship opportunity against Josh Vander Cruz at Underworld 2. Of course, we're also establishing the Tri-Wave Championship contender for Underworld 2 and a couple surprises. And you know what? Screw it. I already dropped it. I'm going to drop the main event. That's already for that show. Right on here. It is Remington Roar versus that Kyle for the Blood on the Fur Championship in a death match massacre match, which, oh God, I've seen blades and I've seen knives and stuff, and this is going to be really disgusting. So get your tickets now if you want to see something violent. And
if you want to see something, your parents are going to go, "Oh my God, what are you watching?" That's going to be that match.
And look for the debut of Paulie Whipwreck, right?
Yes, Paulie Whip.
No!
Yeah. Check out Paulie Whipwreck's debut next week on FPW Triple Point.
Hey, the more gimmicks I have, the more matches I can work, the more money I can make.
There you go. And I
don't think
this
that's how
is
that works,
not
but-
trying to end with a downer, but friend of the show, Deathmatch Daddy Daniels, Jessie Daniels from right here in the Virginia area. He was in Texas last week and defending his title, and he suffered a significant fracture to his neck from the pile driver at the end of that match. And I told him he was welcome to come back on and give us an update on when or if he can get back in the ring. So just everybody keep Jesse in your thoughts, because he goes out there and like puts his body on the line, just like all of you do every time.
We had a fella up here who had I don't want to say similar accident, but yeah, he cracked up the whole side of his ribs and punctured a couple organs. And
yeah.
Stay safe.
He's seeing some doctors now, and of course he's very kind of down in the dumps. So just keep Jesse in your thoughts. And I told him whenever he was ready and he thought he wanted to talk about it, he was welcome to let me know and shoot us a message, and
maybe we
get him back on here and let us, that way he can tell us what's happening and how he's feeling. But go check it out. Frantic Pro Wrestling everywhere online, and the main event he's done dropped it, so make sure you check all that out. And we'll do some over unders on when Paul Rogers might actually get his first victory. You never know.
20.
I say it about.
That's
I know when you I can drop this. Here's a spoiler, not a prediction, but a spoiler. Paul Rogers will get his first win when you see him accompanied to the ring by a man in a pink suit.
Oh, I like it. It's vague, but it's very specific.
I'm the one that makes things happen, so I think you're not far off. We'll see.
Look, if you want, you check out my socials, you'll see me in that pink suit and top hat. Jack, I look good.
We didn't have a pink suit. We just had a bunch of red T-shirts.
I'm gonna say this as on the opposite end of against Paul Rogers. He needs all the help he can get. So he's got like 8 of us against him right now.
Yep, so he needs help there. He needs help putting the Hindu squat machine together, man. You're fucked right now, ain't you?
You're fucked, man. I don't know.
Every single day of my life is a
gonna be hell. I'm just you have no idea.
I couldn't even put a dent in Sasha. How am I gonna put a dent in any other?
Okay, let's be real here. Who's going to put a dent in Sasha? That's why Sasha's with me.
Okay, I literally, now this is not kayfabe, I literally hit that guy as hard as I could. Literally, like I ran out of full speed lariat. I bruised my arm. I gave him the biggest chop of my life so far. He turns around and jerseys me and leaves a bloody handprint. What?
Yeah, we were doing this last week.
He's a monster. You should have known.
Like this,
I said, we were doing this last week, and he went to stretch and raise his arm up. I said, "What in the hell happened to you?"
So that the Robertson special, I've actually used in like catch can. It's like a calf slicer. I go to put it on Sasha's legs, and it was like fighting 2 tree trunks to get them like in a position, and it was like, oh my God, he's not even working, and he's just so strong. Well,
again, we definitely do appreciate you coming on, Curtis. Hopefully everybody checks it out. Well, I'm actually going to check it out myself, and I'm going to send you a message, get some links, and hopefully we get you back on, whether it's this one or another one or both of them. Or
anytime. Anyway. I always love chatting wrestling. I always love doing these things. So
and we got professional equipment, so you're good. We're not going to set you in front of a phone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, for everybody, we will see you next Thursday. Until then.